What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Chasing Dallas season 4 episode. I don't know what episode we on. I'll have it right in the description box though. Let's get into it. So we start this episode off. We have Robert. We see him interacting with his house, the gorgeous house of Gucci. We know that's who he walks with. That's the house he belongs to. We see them getting ready for a ball, and he lets us know, listen, we don't just hang out when it's time to do a ball. We do things in the community. We do things, to try to uplift each other, and we do things as a house collectively outside of walking the ball. And so we see him, getting ready for the ball, and we see him talking to his best friend Tony, who is also in the house with him, who is a part of this whole Dior Kesey situation. Tony is the one that used to date Kesey and has the issue with Dior messing with Kesey allegedly. Okay. So we see them talking about it, and Robert's thing is, look, at the end of the day, I really don't care. I don't, I feel like I'm in the middle because Dior is my big bro. Tony, you my best friend, big bro. And the only reason why I'm even in it is because I just feel like that's my loyalty for fam. But because I love Dior and I got loyalty to him, I honestly just don't care. But it's just the code, and it's just it's the principalities behind it, And so he's basically saying, it is what it is. So he did say he would talk to Dior, and he did agree that he would, just kind of, have a conversation with Dior. Now, he's having his toy drive, which he was mad at Dior for not coming to the toy drive last year, but he's having a toy drive again, little / Christmas party situation. We find out it's going to be at his crib, at his spot. And so he's looking forward to doing that. He's looking forward to that whole situation. He also talked about Trey at the party and the whole situation with he said he really wanted to slap Trey because he said he was really upset about the whole, they wrote a diss track about you. He felt like Trey is just being messy and just trying to mix up everything. I think he used the word mixy. I think he actually used the word mixy. And he felt some kind of way about that situation. But we saw that play out last week, and by the way things look, it's going to keep playing out until the reunion, okay? So then, Kesey is having a photo shoot. He said, he's never had an official photo shoot before. Dior comes through. Dior was working with the creative director. Dior gave him the fits. And he also invited Lon D. Now, I feel like Lon D was only invited to create a moment for the scene because Lon D ain't really had no reason to be there, and Lon D kind of got offended offended I think is a strong word. I think Lon D got in his feelings because he was trying to give Kesey some direction, and he felt like Dior was sort of overshadowing or sort of pushing his way in, and he was like, well, I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't really help him out because, his manager was involved. Well, he is his manager. And Dior does have an eye for these things. So, okay. But I feel like Lon was doing a lot. I feel like he was doing a lot. Then they got to talking about Ted Lee and how Jet Jeff is trying to spread the rumor that him and Ted Lee are together. And he was like, no. He was like, I'm just a friend, and I felt like Ted Lee was being bullied, so I was very protective when I came into the group, And Kesey was like, yeah, but Ted Lee got some issue with him too. And he was like, I'm seeing that now that I'm around, and I realize that it's not a one-sided situation. It's not Ted Lee just being picked on. It's more to it. But that's kind of where maybe people felt like I was coming on a little strong, or I was maybe a little overprotective. But no, there's nothing going on between me and Ted Lee. We're just friends. That's it. So then he went on to talk about how he felt like there was something between him and Trey. He said, when I saw Trey at the video shoot last week, he didn't speak to me. I felt like there was some weird energy coming off of him, and I'm just not sure what that's about because I don't feel like I did anything to him. So Dior was like, because by this time Dior was in the conversation. So Dior was like, I don't really think it's like that. Like, he was like, why don't you give him a talk? He said, see, people always come to me, and, Trey that's my son, but he's not a child. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a problem with Trey, go talk to Trey. But he said, I really don't think it's that deep. I don't think Trey really has an issue. But then we find out, though, that Londi is cool with what's my boy from Lovers and Friends. Oh, I can see his face. I can see his face. Um. Anyway, Londi's cool with him. Trey got beef with him because he said that he showed up last season for an event with Eric James and he had an attitude and Trey just don't like him. So Trey had an issue with him coming and so Londi feels like maybe Trey's issue with him has extended from that even though he thought him and Trey had resolved it. So again, it sounds like a whole lot of telephone. He say, she say type situation. And Dior is, let me say this, Dior is trying so hard to stay out of the drama and the bull hockey, okay? He really, really is trying to stay above all of it. And he was like, listen, why don't you just talk to Trey? Because I really don't think it's that deep. I don't really think it's all of that. So, next, we have Trey's premiere. Trey has the premiere of his show now. For those of you who have not watched Trey's spinoff show, Styles by Howard, y'all need to go check it out. I was reviewing it. I'm going to finish up my reviews. So that y'all can go check it out. But if you haven't checked out, and it gives you another insight into Trey and his interaction with his family. We've seen his interaction with his father, but you may understand more because you'll get the interaction with his mom. Well, Trey didn't invite the whole crew because it's at his house. He only invited the people that he felt he was cool with. It's sort of a pajama party situation, so everybody's supposed to show up dressed in their pajamas. Sean had a do-rag on, child, and some pajamas. I do like that Telfar bag, though, Sean. Just go on and send it to me. You ain't using it. Anyway, but he invited Jet Jeff, Sean, Ted Lee, Dior, and I think that might be it from the cast. Of course, he had his other friends that were there, people who were actually on the show. We know James was there and all that good stuff. So, it was cool. Everybody had a good time. You know, they sort of talked about who he invited, who he didn't invite, why he didn't invite, who he didn't invite. And he proceeded to tell them that he felt some weird energy off of Lon D. He said, you know, I felt like Lon was bringing some weird energy, and I'm just not sure what that's about. You know, when he walked into the room, you know, Polite says that when you come into a room, you speak, and he didn't speak to me, and so I felt like maybe it was more to it, or there was something going on, and I just felt some kind of way about that. So, oh Lord, making a mess. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting over this cold. Anyway, so Jeff and them were like, listen, I think, you know, I don't think it's really all that. I don't think it's that serious, you know, but again, talk to him. So later on, Dior shows up and he pulls everybody aside after the premiere and everybody, and he felt like the group didn't really support him. He felt like the group, now Ted Lee, I know you watch my reviews and I love you for it. But Ted Lee, that Louis Vuitton that you listen, Ted Lee, I know you can give me one of them Louis Vuittons. I know you can come off of one of them Louis Vuittons. I know you don't carry all them. You probably got a Louis Vuitton in the back of your closet that you forgot you had. Anyway, but Telly showed up, child. You know Telly showed up with his fashion. Listen, Sean, you know I like my Sean. I love my boo. Sean, call Telly. You need to talk to Telly about this fashion blog. He might be able to help you with some stuff. Now, after interviewing Sean, I did get a better insight on his thought process with this fashion situation. But baby, I just gotta go by what I see. I gotta go by what I see, and what I see is you need to call Telly. Anyway, moving on. And so they let Dior said, well, you know, I did talk to Lon and, oh, I'm sorry. See, I got sidetracked with the fashions. Trey felt like the rest of the crew didn't support him. He said, even though I didn't invite everybody to to my premiere party, like there's, you know, nobody's saying anything in the group chat. Nobody's sending no congratulations. Nobody's acknowledging this accomplishment for me. You know what, Trey, baby, you can't do that. And I understand where you're coming from, but baby, you got to acknowledge the people who are there and keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a whole lot of missed opportunities with people that you thought were your friends, okay? People will reveal themselves, and that's all you can do. So, moving on. So, he talked to Dior about Londi, and Dior was like, well, Londi did say he felt some kind of way, that he felt like there was some weird energy between the two of y'all. So, you feel like it's some energy, he felt like it's some energy. Maybe y'all need to talk about it. So Trey said that he would, that he would talk about it. Well, before Trey had a chance to talk about it, Sean took it upon himself to set the situation up. So Sean is looking for venues for his premiere, of his fashion launch. So he invited, it's a wine tasting, so he invited Trey, but he also invited Lon. Now, they are standing outside in the rain, and it looked like it was cold because they bundled up, got on hoods and everything else in the rain, trying to have this conversation, trying to clear the situation up. And what it sounds like is that both of them felt some kind of way at the other. You know how you can internalize something because you already feel like something is a problem. So you feel like Trey got a problem with you, so everything Trey does, you feel like it's part of the issue, and vice versa. Trey already felt like Lon had a problem with him, so he's internalizing it. But at the end of the day, they realized that it really wasn't that deep, and it really wasn't all that they thought it was to begin with, kind of thing. Dennis, that's his name, Dennis. So Trey was saying that he really, he didn't like Dennis, and yeah, he did say what he said or whatever, but, he felt like that, they had kind of moved past it. And I feel like Lon was just holding on. Like Jeffrey Osborne, holding on. I don't know, Lon. I feel like he was holding on to this one. But Trey, you be holding on to stuff too. Anyway, I'm glad they talked. Shit, that's all I got. I'm glad they talked. And cleared this air up. They brought up the thing again about Jet Jeff saying that him and Tetley had a little thing going on, and later on, Jet Jeff says, listen, they might not have had no full-blown relationship, but I think something went down, okay? I think something had happened. And let me say this. This might be telling too much of my business. But I think when you young, things seem different than when you old. Because I'm old. You might have had a little something with somebody 10 years ago. It don't count no more. I'm here to tell you it don't count no more. If it was 10 years ago, the expiration date is on that. So him and Tetley might have slid in each other's DMs at one point in time. Maybe even slid in the sheets at one point in time. But it don't count no more. It's over. It don't count. Anyway. Moving on. So but I think this might be the last scene. We get to Robert's party. Now, Robert had his the pajama was a big theme this episode. We had 2 pajama parties, child. But he had a pajama / Christmas toy giveaway. So first of all, shout out to Robert. Shout out to you, Robert, for putting together this toy drive. It seems like it was the second one in a row. You said you know what it was like. You came from humble beginnings. You know what it was like to see your parents struggling to make a Christmas for you and to give you a Christmas situation. Jet Jeff showed up with a toy for you. A personal adult size toy. And Robert is so cute because Robert is such a thug, but he was blushing because first he didn't even get it when he was like, well, what toy you got for me? Well, what kind of toy you got for me? And then when he realized what the toy was, it was this man that Jet Jeff had bought from the photo shoot, from the music video that Robert thought was cute. And I guess he thought Robert was cute. Like, Robert was literally blushing. It was so cute. It was so cute to see that, right? Robert he thug, but he a shy thug, right? So then Londi and Jet Jeff are talking, and child, they still talking about whether him and Tetley had a thing, and I don't even care. I don't know why they care so much. Once again, we saw DeAndre there, and DeAndre again was cool. I really think the only problem was, he was cool until he said this. He said that in response to the diss track that really wasn't a diss track, he's gonna go in the studio and he wants to invite Robert and who is it? Robert and who was the other person? Londi? Who was the other person that was in the song? Anyway, he wanted to invite them in the studio. He said, I mean, if they want to make a diss record, I'm going to show them what a diss record looks like. I'm going to show them what a diss record looks like. I said, here we go with this bullshit. So Robert was like, look, I ain't no rapper. Like, I ain't no rapper. And Jeff was like, it wasn't a diss record. Like, you're going too far. It really wasn't a diss record. Now, Dior was late, but Dior showed up. Thank God. Because who knows where this would have went if Dior hadn't showed up. Now, Dior said, listen, I had an emergency with my niece, and I had to go take care of some business. But, baby, I knew I had to show up. I knew I better bring my ass to this situation, or it was going to be a problem. I am so sorry about this camera. Y'all got this new camera, and it keeps blurring up. I am sorry. I don't know. I had to figure out why I keep blurring up. But anyway, I'm sorry. And so Dior did show up, child. Robert prayed over the toys and the food and the situation. And it was nice. It was really nice. Kiki showed up. Who else was there? Kiki, Jeff, Lon, Dior. Might have been the only people that showed up. I know Trey wasn't there. I don't think Sean was there. DeAndre was there. I don't remember seeing Tedley. It was Tedley's birthday, so Tedley said he wasn't coming. It was his birthday weekend. He was out of town. Somebody else said they weren't coming. They let him know they weren't coming. But once again, the MVP of this episode, Confessionals, was that damn Robert Ray. Listen, Robert Ray, I don't know what the happened to you from last season to this season. He is in his confessional talking about the diss record. And he said once again, he was like, I know that they wasn't dissing me because that would result in ass whoopings. He said, and I know that Tedley said, because he said Tedley got on his nerves too. He said, and I know that Tedley said that he don't fight, he sue. He said, and that's cool. But do you know how many ass whoopings can happen between you suing me and me going to court? He was like, it's a whole lot of, and he was doing it's a whole lot of ass whoopings can ensue in that time period. I said, you know what? He is telling the motherfucking truth. You know how many times somebody can whoop your ass in the time it take to go to court? Robert, I'm loving it. I'm loving Robert, y'all. I don't care. I'm loving Robert. I loved Robert last season. But I am loving what Robert is bringing this season, y'all. Anyway, that's all I got. That was pretty much the episode, child. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't lose nothing. And Kiki, that confessional look, girl. Next time, Markel, let that girl know that she's showing her nipple. Okay? Y'all supposed to take care of that stuff. Yeah, that was the end of the episode. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace.